I've always loved to draw. As a kid, I used to read manga comics, watch cartoons and anime, and even come up with my own characters in my sketchbook. I used to wonder though, how do people make TV shows and comics and stuff? I knew how to draw my characters, but I wondered, how do people edit their drawings? How do people animate their drawings? If that's what you were wondering, then you've come to the right place. Hey guys, it's Sebastian here from Noble Frugal Studio. I'm an animator, illustrator, and content creator here on YouTube. Today, I'm gonna take you from pencil and paper to tablet and stylus, and we're gonna make some digital artwork like the pros. Welcome to the studio. All you need to start making digital art like the pros is a computer, a drawing tablet, and some drawing software. This video is sponsored by Clip Studio Paint, but all opinions throughout are completely my own. If you're ready to get started, then feel free to color in that like button for me, and let's talk equipment. In order to make digital art, you're going to need a computer of some sort. So whether it be a desktop, a laptop, a tablet, or your phone, you'll need at least one of those four. With that out of the way, let's talk about drawing tablets. Drawing tablets are devices that you can connect to your computer that allow you to draw digitally as if you were drawing on paper. If you don't have a desktop computer or a laptop, don't worry, because many of these devices nowadays will even work with your phone. There are three main types of drawing tablets. The first are pen tablets. These devices sit on your desk while you draw on top of them with the stylus. I recommend pen tablets for beginners because they're very affordable and they don't take up much space on your desk. Once you get your pen tablet, all you have to do is plug it in, download the drivers, boot up your drawing program, and start making artwork. For those taking their artwork more seriously though, I generally recommend pen displays. Pen displays work just like pen tablets by connecting to your computer, but they also come with a screen, so you can draw directly onto them like a sketchbook. I find it easier to work with pen displays since I can see exactly what I'm drawing as I'm drawing it, but some professionals prefer pen tablets over these, so it's really up to preference. Lastly, there are also standalone drawing tablets, which you don't need to plug into a computer because they are computers. If you're an artist on the go, then these offer the greatest advantage to your portable setup. My advice is, if you're a beginner, then investing in an inexpensive pen tablet is a great place to start. If you're wondering which device is right for you, you can find all my recommendations for digital art gear on my Amazon store page. In order to draw on your computer, you'll need to get some digital art software, basically a program to run on your computer to work with your drawing tablet. Today, we're going to be using Clip Studio Paint to drive the illustration process. Clip Studio Paint is a fantastic app for drawing, painting, and even animating. Yes, you can make full anime episodes using just this app. You can paint backgrounds, animate characters over them, add audio. It's kind of crazy. So to follow along with me, head over to clipstudio.net and click free trial to get 3 months of free access to this app. Make sure when you open the program that you select the EX version for your trial, because that's the one we're using today. If you're interested in some free digital art software though, then I left some links in the description to have a look at. Huge thank you to Clip Studio for sponsoring this video. Let's open it up and start drawing. To open up Clip Studio, I'm going to click the magnifying glass on Windows 10, type in Clip, find Clip Studio, and click on it. When you open up the program, you'll see a page like this appear. To start drawing, all we got to do is just click Paint. Now we've successfully opened up Clip Studio Paint EX to start working. Let's create a new canvas to draw on. Head up to File, and click New. Let's give our image a name. So we'll name this Tutorial. Let's select the resolution. So where it says preset, I'm just gonna click the drop down menu to the right of it. And let's select the UXGA 1600 by 1200. That's a good starting place. I'm gonna set this resolution to 300. I always set it to 300 in case I wanna print whatever I'm making. You can select a paper color by clicking this box right here. I like this sort of sandy recycled paper color, so I'm gonna keep that. Hit OK, and hit OK again to finish. Once we've created a canvas, let's get used to drawing a little bit. So take your pen and hover the tip of it over your tablet. And you should notice that the cursor is following your pen as you hover the tip close to the tablet. That's how you move the mouse around on a pen tablet. Now press the tip of your pen down on the surface of the tablet and drag to draw a line. Change this to black so you can see it easier. What you'll notice is if you press lightly, you get a very light line. And if you press hard, you'll get a very dark line. That's called pressure sensitivity. If you're pressing down with the tip of your pen but no lines are showing up, make sure you have the pencil or the pen tool selected in Clip Studio Paint. The pencil section in Clip Studio Paint has a lot of great options for sketching your drawings. I have some custom ones here, and I'll leave my favorites in the description if you're interested in downloading more. You can download more brushes and materials from the Clip Studio Paint asset store. And all the ones I have here are free. Next, if you select the pen icon, we have all these different pens I can use. By default, you have probably the G pen down to this textured pen. Use these to ink your drawing. And lastly, we have the paint brushes, which are one of the best features of Clip Studio Paint is the brush engine. You have a selection of watercolors, thick paints, ink, and all these selections have very nice textures to them. Now there are two huge advantages to digital art that I want to tell you about. The first is the ability to undo, and the second is the ability to draw on layers. To undo, simply draw something and then press Ctrl+Z on your keyboard. Very useful. Layers make the drawing process easier as you can basically build up your drawing from the ground without worrying whether or not you're going to ruin it. For example, say I sketch something on layer 1. If I want to ink my sketch, then I'll make a new layer and then draw over this. This way, I preserve both my ink drawing and my sketch because they're on different layers. I don't have to risk ruining a sketch in order to put ink lines over my drawing. What's even better is if I want to add color, I'll make a new layer, click and drag it underneath my ink layer, but above the sketch layer. Now when I add color, my colors automatically show up underneath my ink drawing, but above my rough sketch. You can also hide layers that you don't want to see by clicking this eye icon to the left of each layer. For example, this sketch layer has already served its purpose, so I'm going to hide it. So that's the benefit of working on layers and being able to undo. With all the basics out of the way, let's start drawing. So that is just what a basic workflow looks like in Clip Studio Paint. Now we're gonna go through it all over again, but this time you guys are with me, so follow along, and I'm going to give you my 3 steps to make a successful drawing every time. Let's go. So I'm back at creating a new canvas. I'm gonna name this Digital Art. I'm basically just gonna draw the thumbnail of this video. So I'm gonna set the resolution to 1080p again, which is the size I make my thumbnails, and I'm going to hit OK. So step number 1 is to brainstorm. You want to figure out what it is you're trying to draw. The first thing we have to come up with is thumbnails. Thumbnail images are just very small miniature versions of your entire drawing. Okay guys, if you skip any part of this process, do not skip the thumbnailing phase. Thumbnailing is super helpful because it identifies big issues in your image early on. I'm just going to draw a miniature version of what I'd like my drawing to look like. Let's get a nice sketch pencil. I'm going to go over to the pencils. Let's see. And we'll do this mechanical pencil. Why not? Basically, all you have to do is make thumbnail sketches until you find a sketch that you like. And it only took me 2 this time, but as you can see, this sketch right here, my second one, is way better than the first one. I found out that if I had just went into this drawing, you know, with my initial thoughts, I would have had a lot of pose issues, a lot of perspective issues, you know, just doing a small version of the drawing one more time, and I already have a much better pose, a much more readable silhouette, all of that. So do not skip thumbnailing. Let's move on with this sketch. All right, I'm gonna tap on layer 1. You see this slider with the sort of checkered squares on it? I'm gonna drag this down. So just decrease the opacity of layer 1. Then I'm gonna hit this button to create a new layer. And the last part of our brainstorming phase is the rough sketch. During this rough sketch phase, I'm looking to identify each element of my drawing. So I'll show you how to do that. So I'm gonna start sketching on this new layer. A really helpful thing you can do in Clip Studio Paint is open up this menu. You probably have this open by default, but if you don't, click these 2 arrows right here and it'll open it up. And click the top square, scroll down to flip horizontal, and it'll allow you to flip your drawing from side to side to get a new perspective on what you're drawing. So I'm gonna flip it, then I'm gonna keep drawing. That helps keep your eye fresh while you're working. I'm gonna come over to this lasso select tool. Make sure you have lasso selected in the selection area subtool box. Select the whole head, then click this and I'm gonna just scale it down a little bit. Then I'm gonna hit free transform and make it a little bit thinner. Flip the canvas and keep working. I'm just gonna start with this thumbnail sketch since I already have it here, and then make my rough sketch over it. Okay, at the end of your brainstorm phase, you should have a rough sketch just like this. Okay, step number 2 is to clean up your drawing. So we're gonna add the final lines over our sketch and some flat colors. Then we're gonna hover over to the pen section in Clip Studio Paint. I'm gonna go to marker and select Millipen. Then I'm gonna tap my sketch layer and drag the opacity downwards. And I'm also gonna hide my initial thumbnail layer. What I'm going for now is a pretty thick outline. I'm really only using big, sort of bold line shapes to define the contour of my artwork. So next I'm going to go a bit smaller. As you can see, I started on size 10 in this brush size chart Clip Studio Paint provides. I'm going to go down to maybe 8. Let's try 7. Yeah, that looks good. And now I'm going to go for any overlapping lines within the contour form. So like chin right here. And this headphone right here. Definitely an overlapping line. Now finally I'm going to go to the fine details. Probably going to take a 4. Maybe a 5. Let's take a 4 and then finish all the fine details. Make sure that while you're working, you go up to File and click Save to save your work. Or you can just hit Ctrl+S on your keyboard. Okay, for the next part of the cleanup phase, I'm going to add my flat colors. I'm going to click below my ink layer, add a new layer, and name it color. And using the same Millipen, I'm just going to fill in all the areas. To lay down colors even faster, I can go to this paint bucket tool, make sure I'm set to refer to other layers, and then fill in spaces. This way it will refer to the layer we're currently on by filling in the spaces we already filled in, but also it'll stay within the lines. Okay, after you're done cleaning up, your drawing should look something like this. If you find that your colors aren't working, or you just want to check how they're working, there's a cool Windows trick you can do. All you gotta do is go to the search bar and type color filters. So you can say turn on color filters for now, and then make sure to check grayscale, and then check allow the shortcut key to toggle filter on or off. And that shortcut key is Windows key plus Control plus C. So I'm going to turn them off for now. So anytime I hit Windows Control C or Control Windows C, I can toggle my screen to grayscale. That's very useful for checking values. To see if my colors are working, I can just toggle grayscale on. Now I see that this red is actually way too close in value to this gray, so I'm going to darken it. To color pick in Clip Studio Paint, all you have to do is hold the Alt key and then tap the color you're trying to pick. You can also specify between picking colors that are just on the current layer. So we're on the color layer now, so it's only going to pick colors from the color layer. Or we can also pick the color that we just see in front of it. So I can pick the color of the line art, which is just pitch black, or I can pick anything that's displayed in front of me. So I'm going to keep this on pick color from layer. I'm going to pick this red color. I'm going to darken it. So I'm actually going to opt in to lighten this gray instead of darkening the red. So at the end of the cleanup phase, your drawing should look something like this. Okay, so the third and final step of my drawing process is the rendering phase. So we're just gonna add some shadows and a little highlights. I'm gonna come over to the color layer, hit Control, and then click on this little thumbnail next to the layer name. Now we have our entire color layer selected. I'm gonna make a new layer. I'm gonna name this Light. Where it says normal, click that, select multiply from the drop down menu. Now I'm gonna pick this sort of indigo, dreamy sort of purple color. Select the G pen and then color everything in. Next I'm gonna find an opacity I like, so I'm just gonna drag this down until it looks good to see how dark I want my shadows to be. About there works. Now for my light color, let's see. Maybe I'll select a very bright desaturated orange, like that. So I decided on this really light blue color, and I'm just gonna color in where I want the light to be. I'm not getting too deep into how light and shadows work, so you can really just color in wherever feels right for now. But I'm just thinking that my light is sort of coming from this direction and shining onto the subject. So there's gonna be some form shadows and cast shadows going on there. If I want more shadow, I can just increase the multiply layer's opacity to get a little more shadow, then continue. If you wanna select this shadow color, you gotta make sure that your dropper is on pick color from layer. If you do pick displayed color and you try to draw on that with the light layer, it's gonna draw with the wrong color. So make sure that your dropper is set to pick color from layer. Alright, now I'm just gonna hit deselect to get rid of that selection and then hide my sketch. Lastly, I'm just gonna pick a background color that I like. Double click this background thumbnail, light lavender color. Check my values. Oh, I can't believe I forgot the highlights. Above the light layer, let's make a new layer. Click normal, go to add glow, and let's make some highlights. Select this very desaturated blue color. I'm going to go over to the airbrush section. Make sure I'm going to do noise. Then I'm going to hit Control and select the color layer again so I can put the light within those colors. I don't want too much. I'm actually going to decrease the opacity of this layer quite a bit. Something like that will do just fine. Then on the head, I'm going to draw really, really soft. On the headphones, let's do a couple really sharp highlights since it's a different form. Go a little bit into the shadow with this one, because why not? I think that about does it. Congratulations on making your very first digital illustration. Alright, with our drawing done, let's finish this off by exporting this to an image file so we can share it with friends. I don't know why I had this timeline open the entire time. Just get rid of that. Animator moment. Okay, so let's go up to File, and then find Export Single Layer and click PNG. It'll prompt you to pick a save location, so make sure you remember where you're going to save it. But by default, it'll save in your Pictures folder inside a folder called Clip Studio. Let's just save it here. It'll give you the PNG export settings. These all look fine. You don't have to touch these unless you absolutely know what you're doing. So just hit OK. Then we get a nice little preview of our finished artwork. So hit OK again, and you're done. Now when I go to my Pictures folder and click on Clip Studio, I can find my image. Oh, wrong monitor. Here we go. Voila. I want to say a huge thank you to you guys for watching. I know it was long, but I just wanted to make this tutorial as thorough as possible for you beginners just learning how digital art works. And if you really don't like what you ended up drawing, that's okay. Remember, you guys are just beginners. This stuff is very, very complicated, and you're stepping into an entire new world. I want to say a huge thank you to Clip Studio Paint for sponsoring this video. You can check them out in the description. If you guys want to learn more about digital art and animation, feel free to browse around the Noble Frugal Studio. That's all from me, guys. I'll see you next time. Peace.